Getting married is exciting, but if you're not careful, these 5 mistakes could cost you big time. What I'm talking about is unnecessary fights, resentment now or down the road, and financial stress. And the worst part, most couples don't even realize that they're making them until it's too late. I see these mistakes all the time in my marriage coaching practice. I've been doing this for 12 years. But the good news, they are 100% fixable. So stick around, because at the end, I've got a bonus tip that could save you from one of the biggest financial mistakes that newlyweds make. All right, let's get right into it. Mistake number 1, not talking about chores. This is one of the biggest fights between newlyweds and couples later on in life. And if you don't fix it now, it could lead to years of frustration down the road. And you might be thinking, but Danka, we're adults. I know how to clean. She knows how to clean. We'll figure it out. But here's the problem. That assumes that you both have the same rules about chores, right? What does clean even mean to you versus to your spouse? How often should things be done? Who is responsible for what? If you don't define and agree on these expectations, you will find yourselves arguing over laundry, over dishes, and who forgot to take the trash out years down the road. The solution to this, talk about it. Decide together what is it that needs to be done, who does what, how often do we do it, and do it before resentment builds up. That's the key. Mistake number 2, keeping silent when you are hurt. Newlyweds are black belts at keeping things to themselves when their spouse upsets them. Why? We tell ourselves, oh, but he didn't do it on purpose. I didn't want to ruin the mood. We were having such a great day. I don't know how to bring it up without a fight. But here's the problem. If you never say anything to one another, your hurt turns into resentment. Imagine you paint a beautiful wall in your home, and every time your spouse unknowingly hurts you, it's like scribbling on that wall with a black Sharpie. And if you never clean it up, if he never clean or she never cleans it up, soon that whole wall is going to be covered in scribbles. The solution to this, address the issues as they happen. It will keep your wall clean and beautiful, and it will keep your marriage strong. Mistake number 3 is not planning time together. Many couples assume time together will just happen naturally. But if you remember, before marriage, you scheduled time together, right? You decided on when dinner dates were going to happen. You talked about your weekend plans, and then you made them happen. You talked about movie nights. After marriage, you're around each other all the time, so you think that you don't need to plan for these things. But without intentional effort, quality time will just disappear. And I see that happen every week in my office. And the other thing is understanding that not every moment together counts as quality time. Just because you're both, say, at a wedding or a family event, doesn't mean that you've spent time together. The solution to all of this is talk about it and plan for it. Set date nights. Define what quality time means to both of you, and then make it a priority so that no matter what else is happening in your life, you have time together on the calendar. Mistake number 4 is not sharing expectations with one another. Newlyweds often think, oh, but he knows me, right? She knows what I want. But I always ask, do they really? When it comes to daily routines, right, to big life decisions, assumptions cause misunderstandings and disappointment. So ask each other the questions. How do you spend your weekends? What do you like to do? How often do we see family? What are our priorities now? How do you see this happening going forward? How do you handle holidays and vacations? The solution to this is talking about what your expectations are and revisiting these conversations, because life will change, and what applied 10 years ago may not be true anymore, or even 2 years ago may not apply today. That's the only way to get on the same page. Mistake number 5 is not asking for what you would like or for what you need from each other. Many newlyweds hesitate to ask for things because they don't want to nag. But assuming that your spouse should just know what you want is a setup for disappointment. Your spouse can't read your mind. Hear me. Even after years together, and I've been married to my husband for 18 years, I'm still learning new things about him. You're still going to be learning new things about each other. So the solution to this, speak up. Asking for what you need is not nagging, it's communication. Nagging is asking for something 100 times in one day. And if that's not what you're doing, then you're communicating. Here's the bonus mistake. Not talking about money. One of the most costly mistakes that newlyweds make is not talking about money. And there are 2 big financial mistakes that you can make. Number 1 is keeping separate finances and living like 2 single people, even after you've gotten married. And number 2 is not agreeing on 2 key numbers. 1 is what the spending limit is, meaning how much can either one of us spend before checking in with the other person. And the other piece is, what's the fun money budget? A set amount each of you gets to spend however you would like, no questions asked, right? Having clear agreements on money expectations will save you from stress and fights down the road. All right, I gotta know, which mistake hit home the most for you? Or if you've been married for a while, what's the one thing that you wish you had known sooner? Drop it in the comments. I'm going to read every single one. And hey, if you found this helpful, would you hit that like button? It helps more couples find this video. For more practical marriage advice, I would love it if you would subscribe. I post new videos every week to help you build a stronger and happier marriage. Now, YouTube thinks that you should watch this video next, so check it out and I'll see you there.